Hello, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Witness Without Identity channel. My name is Ralph. Today I want to talk about the show The Hill. So today, my man Saigar Agenti from The Hill is acting like, hey, he knew that all along that everything was going to be perfect with the Trump administration, and they were going to lose, and AG Barr and the Supreme Court was not going to trying to attempt a coup to win the election. And I'm saying, I don't know. I don't think that's true. Saigar, you have to look at me in the face and be honest to me. Nobody knows, and I think the left, people on the left had the right to throw out some weird conspiracy because Trump was helping them. He was allowing them to do that. So I want you guys to look at the video, and you guys can let me know what you think.
All last week, kept hearing a word whispered across Washington in GOP circles, that of my own home state of Texas. Texas might save us, they thought, after the state filed suit in federal court on behalf of the Trump campaign, challenging the results of the 2020 election and seeking to get the results overturned at the Supreme Court. Ted Cruz was even set to make arguments before the court if they took it. But luckily, we were spared that spectacle when the court rejected the Texas lawsuit and thus the last real chance at any Trump victory on Friday afternoon. And while I think we all knew that was going to happen, what was more remarkable than the rejection was, in fact, who rejected it. 7 justices of the court rejected Texas's suit on the grounds that they had no standing whatsoever under the Constitution to challenge the results, with only 2 saying they should have accepted it. Now, those 2 were Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas. And it's not even that they agreed with the case, only that they have these really weird theories about jurisdiction and were willing to hear it out before they voted against it. And another way of reading the result is the 3 justices that Trump put on the U.S. Supreme Court just officially sealed his fate in the 2020 presidential election. All of this after years of talk and tears and hysteria over the idea that Trump's real aim was to stack the judiciary so he could enact a fascist coup, how Amy Coney Barrett's appointment was the final nail in the coffin of a plan to be a dictator for life. And if that was the plan, didn't work out so well, did it? Will any of the people who trumpeted this nonsense admit that they were wrong? No, absolutely not. The idea was so mainstream, it appeared on our opinion pages. It was everywhere. In fact, I'm willing to say it was an article of faith among the Democratic faithful that there was no question about why Barrett was really put on the court in the first place. This is just one of many Trump conspiracy theories which have turned out to be ludicrously false and which people pay no price for being wrong on. It's one of the many that have played out in recent days. Take Bill Barr, for example. Before this election, he was Donald Trump's personal henchman. Many liberals would have had us believe he was basically no different than a member of the Third Reich and that he was going to do everything in his power to steal the election for Trump. The idea was so widespread, it appeared on this show. In a bizarre moment, I'm not ever really going to forget, with Michael Moore, when he came on before the election to float the idea that Bill Barr was going to order U.S. Marshals to steal ballot boxes in Pennsylvania. Take a listen.
One thought is that the Justice Department is going to go send federal marshals. The FBI won't do it. They're going to send federal marshals into Pennsylvania on election day, on election night, and they're going to seize the ballot boxes, the hard drives, and they're going to take control of them and bring them back to D.C.
Michael,
because
we haven't seen any reporting or anything to that effect. We should be very careful.
That those aren't the issues that get discussed, because those actually, threaten the corporate donor class, threaten the money and power, the people who really run this country. And so it's not an accident that you have all these distractions instead of focusing on these real issues.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to be sympathetic to, the view that we have heard, the sort of extremist, most conspiratorial rhetoric around President Trump on the left, look, as he has from the beginning, if you want to see that, he gives you enough to work with, right? So before the election, refusing to say whether he's going to commit to a peaceful transition of power, never being willing to just say, yeah, if I lose, I'm going to leave. All that stuff feeds into, so for people who are on MSNBC and making a career out of painting Donald Trump as like this unique, evil, fascist, immediate threat, potential dictatorship on the way, he's going to cancel the election because of coronavirus, or he's going to postpone it, or there's going to be a military coup, or he's going to seize the ballot box, or whatever it was, you can seize on that comment and say, look, he's saying it outright. And also, as we said, and this is a pattern throughout his presidency, It's not like he didn't try and mess around.
You know what? I had to put this in. I really truly respect Crystal Ball for saying this because it is true. Like, Donald Trump gave them ammunition, and that's why the people on the left took it. He gave them ammunition because he refused to concede that if he loses, that he's going to have a smooth transition of power. He refused to say that he's going to do that. So this was before the election. Somebody that tells you before a game that they're going to cheat, they are going to cheat. I don't understand why the people on the right wing don't understand that. I have a suspicion about the people on the right. I think some of them, some people say they are naive. I don't think it's that. I think they are very smart. I think they know that it's wrong, that they rather lie. I think that's what it is. I don't think they are naive. Some people say that, oh no, they are naive, they are stupid. I don't think so. I think a lot of them are very smart, but they rather act like they are stupid, just to win the election. That's how much they hate the left. So the left, to me, also has to do a better job, man, at being attractive to the people on the right. They have to try to do a better job. Because the way they do it, it's like, even with the immigration, the way they talk to the people, I understand. And Trump, let me tell you, in 2016, the election that Trump won was very powerful. Even me, I almost got convinced by him that this was the savior, a little bit. But after a while, I started to see his character. I see that he was like, he was the perfect guy. But his election in 2016 was a killer election. He did pretty good. But I think he wasn't bad in some instance in his policies about America first, China, the trade deal. I think so. I really believe that. But that's the problem with the left. The left will not give him that credit. Nancy Pelosi will not give him any credit. You gotta give him credit where credit is due, but you have to look at the guy as a guy that's still dangerous. Because that's what I'm going to tell the right-wing people, is that if you lose an election, you gotta say that you lose. What would you say before the election that if you lose, that you're not going to concede power? You're not going to just have a smooth transfer. What would you say that before the election? That means you're telling everybody this is who you are. You're never going to concede no matter what. You say so. That right there should tell people on the right wing that Trump is never going to concede anyway. He wants to win. The video, guys. Okay, so what do you guys think? So his side guy is trying to say, oh no, A.G. Ball made a fool, like everything was. What are you talking about, Tiger? We saw why A.G. Ball was the most loyal guy to Donald Trump when it comes to everything else. He's willing to lie for him. So when people on the left seen that, they started to get a little bit a little bit worried. They think that there's no more democracy, that people are just going to go with their party line. Everything becomes political. And luckily, the American democratic structure is not totally broken yet. But Trump, I think he made some damage. Nobody's going to say no, because you see that it's all about loyalty. And the left has the same problem too. There's a loyalty problem on the left. Like, people on the left, they think Obama is Jesus. And there's a little bit of that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and I want people to call me out on this. If you can put a comment out. But I think the right are worse. The right wings are worse. Like, for example, let's look at both people, Hillary and Trump, right? Hillary, when Trump won the election, she did not say that Trump did not win. She conceded and said that he won and everything said. But she pushed the Russian investigation thing in. And I think the reason why is because Trump gave her all. The Trump administration give the Democrat weapon for them to use against them. It's not because there was nothing. There was something going on. Robert Mueller said that Trump, he could not find anything about Trump, but he did not exonerate him for the Russian investigation. No exoneration means that you're not totally free. There's something laying on you, but we could not find above evidence. We could not find evidence that is like above everything that we can blame you without a reasonable doubt. That's what it means. But he still say at the end that, hey, he put a line. We could not exonerate him. So that should tell you something, that when the left make an accusation against the Trump about the Russian spying and all that stuff, I mean, we're not going to say that it's total BS. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at the right wing with the stuff about the election fraud, where's the evidence? And the evidence points the other way because the Democratic Party got totally hammered in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Everybody was saying there's going to be a blue wave, there's going to be a blue wave. There's no blue wave. There was a red wave. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So why would the Democrat work against their own people? So basically what I'm saying to you, this election was an election that proved to the American people that a lot of people don't approve of the left. That's what this election showed me. But without Donald Trump. And even the election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden was kind of tight. About 75 million people voted for him. So it was an amazing election for Trump and for the Republican Party. The Republican Party did not get destroyed by this election. I hope that people can see that. You know what people get destroyed? I think it was during the Obama election. I think Bush got like I think Obama won a lot of it. I don't know. It was like a very fierce battle. I think there are some election that was like total destruction. Where the other side did not win. They got totally overwhelmed by the other side. But this wasn't it, guys. This was a tight election where the Republican went back into the House. They took a couple of seats. So, guys, if it's like that, that's all you know. The election is kind of real. This is what happened on the Republican side. Is that Trump was playing too much with the COVID, and people are dying, you know. And me also, I had some doubts about the COVID. Was it real? Was it not real? But I'm saying to myself, if I was a politician, I'm not going to say that on the podium saying that it's not real. Like in the beginning, I had some doubt. Is it that serious as well? Because I was looking at myself, I was saying that I'm fine. But the fact I don't have COVID doesn't mean it's not true. You go to the ICU, you see people in the COVID, and okay, now you want to say it's a conspiracy in America, okay, but what about Italy? You're saying Italy is a conspiracy too? They conspire with America to make it seem... No, it's not true. It's like, you know, everybody was struggling. This was a rough year for everyone. This is not an illusion. But the right wing are saying this is an illusion. It's not real. The mask doesn't help. Nothing helps. It's like, you know, it's sad to see that. But me, I have to say this. Like, what Saagar he's talking about what the people on the left were pushing is scary. I think what Saagar is pushing also is scary. Because he's basically saying that, oh no, there's nothing to worry. There was nothing scary about age, like that Ejima was definitely not going to do that. Everything was going to work perfectly. We were not sure about Ejima. We were shocked that he went that way. Amy Coney Barrett, when she decided to put Trump under the bus, I thought she was going to... I did not know. I wasn't sure about Amy Coney Barrett because I look at her face. It feels like when she's next to Trump, you can feel that she's not totally with Trump all the time. And Trump thinks that she's going to be loyal to him. But that's not the way things work. So we were thankful that that's the way it works. But I was scared, guys. Trump was about to turn. Trump was about to talk to Texas and to have 17 other states agree with him that the election is a fraud. Wow. So they were fighting like very violently. And they were pretty effective at it. And they were pretty good at it. So we cannot just act like, you know, oh, like the people like Michael Moore, he comes out and say that we did not know where was the limit, how far the Trump administration can go. Trump shows us that he can go to the bottom line, and Trump told us that he can steal the election anytime. He would steal the election if he can. And Saagar said in the video that, hey, like, yes, we know that Trump will steal the election, but I think Christo said that Trump is the kind of guy, steal the election, after he do it, then he's going to eat a cheeseburger. Are you kidding me, Christo? That's the way you see Trump? After Trump sees that he lost the case on the court, he kept on pressing forward even harder with Rudy Giuliani. And then that's when he started to work on Texas and tell Texas to join with the other state to say that the election is a fraud, that Biden is not the president. So what are you talking about? It's not true. Let's look at the reality. The reality is that Trump is not playing game with this election fraud thing. You're basically saying that he's a joke. That he's going to eat cheeseburger. After that, I don't see it like that. I don't see that he's going to eat cheeseburger. He did not win the courtroom. Now he's keep pressing forward. Eating a cheeseburger means that you stop pursuing that narrative. He doesn't stop pursuing the narrative. He's pushing it even further hard. So guys, let's be real about what's going on here. The Hillary thing, they were pushing the Russian thing. They said that Trump was a Russian spy since the 1980s. That is BS. We know that. We're not going to fall into that. That's a lie too from the Clinton side. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to be clean to ourselves. It's not true that Trump was a spy. I think Trump was a guy that has Russian. Trump was the kind of guy that if the Russian could help, he would have taken it. He's not going to say no to the Russian. If you help Trump, he's going to take it. He's not going to say no. He's not those kind of people. Trump is not this kind of, forget it. He's going to take the help if that's going to benefit him. But I don't think Trump planned a conspiracy to win the election with the Russian. That's too risky, and Trump is not that, he's too clumsy for that, I think. That's what I think. But this is a very interesting conversation, but I don't know. I would like you guys to comment and come hard. And if you have to critics about what I think, just say it. If you approve of me, then say it too. I want to hear what you guys think. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.